Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and finally welcome back to 911 Season 3. After a 10-week break, at least for me anyway, I watched the whole of 911 Lone Star, because for those who are not keeping up with my channel in the order that I'm recording things, I'm watching 911 and Lone Star in the order they were aired on TV. So it was the first half of Season 3 of 911, all of Lone Star Season 1, the last part of Season 3. So I'm really excited to go back to these characters because it feels like I've not seen them for ages. And I did really love 911 Lone Star. I thought it was a really great season. And I'm excited to see more of those characters as well because I haven't spent a lot of time with them. I'm also excited to go back to the characters that I originally fell in love with. Athena, Bobby, Buck, Hen, Eddie, Maddie, Chimney, all those lot, because it feels like it's been a really long time, even though it hasn't really. It's been about 2 months altogether, which is not that long, especially when you're watching it live. You have to wait longer than that between seasons, but you know, I've missed them. I've really missed these characters, and I've been waiting eagerly to carry on with Season 3. So the only things that I can really think of that happened last half that might carry on into this half that weren't like wrapped up was Michael. So Athena's ex-husband Michael found out he had a tumour because he was waking up in their house, walking through glass doors, and a lot of confusion and memory loss. So when he got tested, he discovered he had a brain tumour. But as we left it, he didn't want them to know because it was Christmas time, and he wanted to give them a good Christmas before they found out. So depending on how long this takes place after that, whether it's going to take place immediately after or if it's real time in terms of that happened, there was a few months while we watched Lone Star, and then it carries on later on. Probably everybody knows by this point. I'm not too sure, but it's going to be really sad either way, whether they know or not. If you have to watch him tell them, that's going to be really sad, especially Athena and the kids. That's going to be awful. Or if we have to watch him eventually die, that's going to be awful as well. I hope not, because what I was saying recently was that we've not actually lost any main characters of 911 or Lone Star. Like, characters have left. Like, Abby left after 911 Season 1. And I know Liv Tyler's character Michelle leaves after Lone Star Season 1. But we've not actually lost any main characters. Or I know Michael's not a main character, but he's main enough that it would make it be really sad if he goes. So we'll see what happens there. The episode is called Seize the Day. So either it's going to be about people taking opportunities whilst they can, seizing the day whilst they got the opportunity to, or it's one of my favourite Buffy quotes from, I think it's episode 1, seize the day, because tomorrow you might be dead. Or maybe Michael's maybe ticking off some of his bucket list because he's not doing so well. I don't know. Let's jump into it to find out. I'm really excited to go back to these characters. These are the characters that grabbed me on this show. These are the ones that I fell in love with and that make me cry on a regular basis. So let's see if we cry in this episode. If you enjoyed the video, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And please take a look at the Patreon link down below for the full-length reaction to this episode and help support the channel. Let's jump into 911 Season 3, Episode 11. I think it's 11. Yes, Season 3, Episode 11, Seize the Day. Oh, exciting to be back skydiving.
I can't believe I let you talk me into this.
No.
I'm your mother.
No.
I don't talk you into things. I tell you what to do.
I don't see how that obligates me to fall 30,000 feet out of a plane with you.
Yeah, if you know much of my channel, you know that I don't like being underwater, I don't like spiders, and I don't like heights.
Bucket listing out of a plane is not a mother-daughter activity that I bet you make with gravity.
Okay, ladies, I'll count it down.
I mean, they're not attached to anybody, so they must have done this before, right? Oh! Poor Stefan.
Looks like his parachute is snagged on something. He's caught underneath the airplane.
He hasn't said anything on the radio.
Eddie, take those sunglasses off, but you look sexy.
The memory's not going to want to save her.
Need you to get low enough so that we can free you. Wait, where are you guys gonna be?
Underneath the plane. Right, that's cool.
We got him! Coming in hot behind us! Okay, guys, keep your hands ready.
All right, Gash. Steady. Like this. Okay. Come on. Go!
I mean, well done.
He's a little beat up, but I think he'll fly again.
Just not sure he's going to want to.
I mean, it is pretty traumatic.
I hope this will be the end of your flying and your matchmaking.
Are you boys single?
Buck is. Eddie is. Oh god. Don't.
So what's going on? Every time you guys sit us down like this, it seems to be bad news.
No, it's not.
The good news is the tumor didn't grow. Okay? But the bad news is it didn't shrink either.
So what now?
Right.
So your dad is gonna have surgery.
Brain surgery?
Yeah.
So they just take it out and then you're cured, right?
Well, hopefully, yes. You know, they'll take out as much as possible and then maybe do more radiation after that.
Wait, they're gonna cut open your brain and they might not even get all of it?
Yeah, May. You know, this is
It's really difficult though with brains
That's what they said about the radiation.
and cancer in general.
Okay, we're gonna carry on business as usual. We are not gonna let this stop us from doing the things that we know we need to do, okay?
He seems
Like
positive.
studying for your math test.
Still got that deal, right?
Oh, man, come on. A minus or above? It's you, me, and GameStop.
And you got a car.
What? No, I'm just kidding. It ain't my gold car.
Great, I'm gonna go study right now.
Scans are clear. No
Good.
sign of clots since we took you off of the blood thinners.
Good.
I think those screws were the source of your problem.
So that's it?
We're all good.
They're gone and I don't need to see you anymore.
As long as you don't get crushed by another fire.
Well, that's good. It's kind of wrapping up his story, like
Mr.
that
Buckley,
side of the
it is my
storyline.
pleasure to give you a clean bill of health.
What are you doing? Birthday rules. No help from the guest of honor.
But it feels
his
weird.
birthday.
Just watching and not contributing. I'm not really a woman make me food kind of guy.
Okay, fine.
My father left me a voicemail. I can't believe it. He remembered. He never remembers my birthday.
That's sweet.
Wait till you listen to it first.
Hello?
Who's a cutie?
Hello.
Is Howard home?
He is. And you are?
I'm Albert.
Albert.
Okay, are you a friend of his?
No. He's my brother.
He's got a cute ass brother. Holy moly. Look at him. He's adorable.
20 years old and I've never met my brother.
No, half brother.
Half brother. Okay.
Sorry about your birthday. If I had known, I would have brought you something. Besides myself.
You are a treat to the eyes. I'll give you that.
Clearly Pop didn't.
911 know how to
All we
cast
talk
good looking
about is
people.
you running away from home.
I did not run away.
What do you want to do?
No idea.
Finally, I'm starting to see a family resemblance.
Well, that's why I came here. I knew you'd understand.
How do you know? You never met the guy.
Sure, I'm the right role model for you finding a career path.
Your brother is being modest. He saves people all day long, and he's really good at it.
It's time I
Yes.
stopped living in Father's shadow. I need to strike out on my own.
And land on
Okay.
the couch.
Interesting.
Towards the camera, see? Makes it look bigger, right?
Very nifty trick.
Oh, now,
Oh, you bet you've
Really
used
wanna
that
get
trick
crazy?
before.
give him one of these.
No, don't do that.
Sashimi, anyone?
Oh, Roger.
I mean, idiots.
It looks like the gills, or maybe both, are caught on his trachea. Let me try to get it loose.
But
A few weeks of freedom, he'll probably come home on his own.
넌 젊은 사람을 어떻게 똑똑히 생각하라는 거야?
He's 20.
he's a man.
And I was making my own decisions long before that age.
네가 원해서 했어 그거는.
Was it though?
네가 이렇게 된 거는 내 잘못이 아니야. 내가 너무 잘 살라고 내가 얼마나 노력했어.
I have a good job. You know, saving lives.
이런 일은
Oh,
바보같이 죽을
get
수도 있어.
locked.
우리 아들은 더 잘 살아야 돼.
Get lost.
Son.
Get lost. Get lost.
Glad we cleared that up.
Hang up. Don't waste your time on this guy.
How are the kids handling it?
I think Harry's okay. I'm worried about May. She's got a better understanding of what's going
Please take care of May, because she's been
That's
through a
'cause older
lot.
siblings don't have the luxury of blissful ignorance. Sure, we share some of the same DNA, but he's still practically a stranger to me.
I keep telling you, family comes to us in different ways, Chim. Lean
Yeah.
in.
Just because they're not blood doesn't mean he's not family.
Without meeting all of us.
What is this? Talking points regarding Henrietta and Karen.
Social services is vetting
Oh.
Karen and me to become foster
Foster
parents.
parents.
We listed each and every one of you as references, and so when they call, I need you all to sing our praises.
We're seizing your property. This is a cash for keys offer. We're gonna pay your moving expenses, you sign over the deed, and then I don't have to call the authorities and declare you a trespasser.
You ever hear the stand your ground law?
It's not your ground.
If he's doing something illegal, then I'm on the side of this dude.
911, what's your emergency?
Belongs to the bank now.
The hell it does!
Don't do this. Don't do this. Like, that's gonna solve the problem. Oh, dickhead.
Sir,
I
can you hear me?
apologize.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, what is that?
I'm pretty sure all of this is supposed to be on the inside of his body.
Late
It's been
organs.
eviscerated.
Seen these before. We need to clean and irrigate.
Morphine, lots of morphine.
All right, let's double dose. 3 mils. Hoping he can't be any bigger than the
Jeez,
size
poor
of his
guy.
fist. Gotta keep him on the side.
Bring the backboard in.
Can't believe I did this.
Hmm. What exactly did you think would happen
You did that.
when you drove over him with a
Terrible person.
vehicle?
Wanted to be a firefighter as a kid,
Oh.
but now I don't think I have the guts.
Hey, Albert.
Hey, bro.
Jim, your
So
kid
cute.
brother is a pistol.
Half brother, what are you doing here?
I wanted to see you, see where you work. Your captain said you're on the way back from the hospital. I heard you saved a man's life.
I'm your brother's longtime bestie.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Be nice, Chimney.
I'm sure you probably have a lot of questions about your brother.
I think he even knows my name.
Have you ever spoke to him?
Order for Justin! To go for Justin!
Now he knows your name.
Now there can be no doubt.
She has me energy. She definitely has me energy. I would be like that.
You have been looking at him like you were starving and he was lunch for a year now. You adjusted your schedule
Speak
to match
to him.
his. You were one order of boiled bunny away from being a stalker. Find the words.
There's also that.
Oh, I've got the words.
No man is an island, but 2 men together can share the world.
It's a bit lyrical, sure, but it really opens up in the later
No,
pages.
baby, no.
Now or never, kid. Seize
He
the
might
day.
not even be into men. People like the attention if you... Oh.
Oh my god.
You know his name?
Yeah, his name's Justin. Justin McAvoy, I think. He works over at Metrotech.
See?
I don't know if this matters, but he may have a nut allergy. He orders the same thing every day except no almonds. I think he wants to talk.
He's obviously paying
What's he trying
attention
to say?
too.
Hi, I'm Justin. God, this is so stupid. I don't know if you noticed me these
This is so
past few
cringy.
months. I work in an office getting lunches and making copies. He's way nicer than I am. Very single, totally dateable. That's not in the note. I'm just improvising.
The idea's really sweet, but
If the image of a nervous intern reading poetry
just say
on the back of the
hi.
lunch menu doesn't turn
I've
you
noticed
off,
you for the past year.
I only have one question.
Want to go on a date?
Would you like to ride in the back of the ambulance with him?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. If he dies now, though.
I'm tired of talking about Albert.
Don't go
Albert,
breaking my
Albert.
heart. Okay.
You've got to be kidding.
And everyone has their path. You just do you, Albert.
I will. I will do me.
How do you?
What's how you phrase that one, buddy? I just need a little of my brother's courage. No, he did not let father dictate his life. He took a stand, got out, came to America to follow his dreams.
See, he respects you. He thinks very highly of you.
All I wanted was for him to see me, to be proud of me, be proud to call me his son. But no matter what I did, I was always invisible. Because you are the only son that he cares about.
That's not his fault.
Everybody loves Albert. This entire table is proof of that.
You do not know what my life was like at home.
I know you have always had a family.
This is not cool.
I have always been trying to piece one together. You didn't come to me because you wanted to be my brother. You came to me because you needed something from me.
That wasn't cool.
Hey, Albert!
I suck.
Go on, Maddie, read him the riot act. That was awful.
But the part about everyone liking Albert more than you? It's just crazy.
My father does.
He's a dick.
We were never close.
I don't know what his relationship is with Albert. Neither do you.
I know that there is one.
Can't be a good one. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shown up on your doorstep the way that he did.
Yeah, totally.
Trust me. I know.
You're updating your will. People do that when they're dying.
And they also do it when they have 2 children and are about to undergo major surgery.
That's true.
A risky surgery.
I didn't want to scare you.
Are you scared?
Have you seen his eyes? Of course he is.
I am terrified of not seeing you and Harry. That's why I'm doing this.
I don't like it.
It's to make sure that you 2 are taken care of.
Stop doing that. Planning for your death. You can't think like that. And as long as you have options and have us, there's still hope.
She's really growing up.
When did you grow up?
That's what I just said.
When it came time to go back to Korea, my mom didn't want to go. She loved it here. And she wanted to stay, and I wanted to stay with her. I'm sure you can imagine how that went over.
Like a metal balloon.
Lead balloon, but yes. So he went back to Korea without us. Guess he figured she'd come to her senses.
But she didn't.
No, because she's got a brain and a willpower.
She got sick.
And her own mind.
Cancer.
Oh.
She fought like hell for a few years, and eventually she couldn't fight anymore.
I think I like your family better. Maddie.
Me too.
Buck. The other firefighters.
Those nice people.
It was nice getting to know them.
Good. Because fair warning, they're around a lot. Hope you can
Is he
handle
staying?
Does that mean I can stay?
So he's a regular?
Of course. You're my brother.
Interesting.
But you made me think about things in a way that I haven't in a very long time.
Right.
You know, I was so focused on my death, but now I want to be focused on my life.
Oh, God.
On what I have.
So what happens if you don't get the surgery?
You'll die.
Hey, no, we don't know that. Okay, you guys, listen. I'm not giving up.
Sounds a little bit like you are.
I'm gonna keep fighting. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But what I do know is all that we have is today.
It's risky though.
I don't know where this is coming from.
You ever think it's weird we spend 50-something hours a week together and still hang out?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Saying you got the family you were born into, and the one you choose. Oh, that's what the 118 is.
I guess that's what it's like when you have a work family that you actually like spending a lot of time with. Hey.
This is Nia.
Nia.
She's our new foster.
I don't know why you're so nervous. I'm the one who should be nervous.
Because I'm meeting your parents, more or less. I mean, what if they don't like me? Howard.
Oh.
Mr. Lee. It's good to see you, Howard.
It's good to see you, too.
You must be Maddie.
Yes, Maddie. I want you to meet Mr. and Mrs. Lee. People who helped raise me.
It was really sweet. Okay, that was my reaction to 911 Season 3, Episode 11, Seize the Day. And it's so nice to be back with these characters. I've missed spending time with them. As much as I've enjoyed the new characters in Lone Star, I feel like, because I was thinking about this before, I really started to fall in love properly with 911 from Season 2 onwards, because I feel like that's when they hit their stride and they got the better storylines out of the characters and whatnot. So I feel like for Lone Star as well, that'll probably be a similar thing. But I've really missed being with these group of people, and it's really nice to be back in comfortable arms with emotional storylines, fun characters, and just being back in California with our crew. So let's talk about Michael, because that was the big thing that I was expecting from the last half of the season into this one. So it's been a few months by the sounds of it. He's had his radiotherapy and isn't working. It's not reducing the size of the tumour, but at the same time the tumour's not increasing either, so it's kind of just staying where it is, which kind of sounds really familiar to me because we were dealing with another tumour over on Lone Star as well, so again, similar sort of storylines. And he was telling his family that he's now going to have surgery, and that is always scary because anyone that knows anyone that's had cancer and had to have surgery, particularly if it's like brain, you'd know that like it's never an easy ride, it's never a dead set. Just any sort of cancers and tumours, if you try and take them out surgically, aren't always guaranteed that they're going to go away. You know, it's just not 100% guarantee. It's likely, but not definite. And that's where his children were struggling, more so May than Harry, because Harry was young enough to kind of, okay, he's going to have surgery, it's going to be okay, because that's kind of child logic. But May knew the risks and obviously did her own research and was like, this surgery is risky, and especially brain surgery. It's definitely risky. But then they had a really weird conversation because she went to him to be like, don't give up hope, live, you know, don't, because he was doing his will as well, which she saw as like a giving up, which I don't agree, like, because I know that a lot of families do wills when things are fine, but just they got to do their will and get it sorted. She felt like he was giving up, and he wasn't. But then that conversation kind of gave him a turn, like, I'm not having surgery, I'm just going to live my life and fight. Is that a good idea? I don't think so. Because, yeah, I appreciate surgery is not a dead set answer, but it feels like the surgeons or the doctors wouldn't have said to do surgery unless they felt like that was your best chance at surviving. He had about a year, he said, if he didn't do surgery. Is he going to just try and live his best year of his life and then die? Because that'd be really sad, and it's one of those that you've got to make a decision that's best for you, but when you've got kids and things as well, like, you've got to try and think about them as well. And I don't think he's necessarily given up, but it does kind of, I can see why to them it might sound like, oh, I'm not having surgery, I'm just going to live my life and just try and fight. Is he still having sort of radiotherapy or chemo alongside that? I think it was radiotherapy, he said. That's obviously a possibility. If he is, then they could still work in the long run. But if he's just given up treatment altogether, that feels like a bad move for his health and his long-term prognosis. So we'll see how that develops over the course of the season. But maybe something's going to happen to him and he'll go, you know what, I need to have this surgery, I need to fight for my family and to be alive, you know what? Because right now I'm not sure how I feel. It feels like that's not a good option. But we'll see how they kind of play it later down the line. Speaking of medical diagnosis, we also had Buck going to the doctor and finding out that all his blood clots are gone, his stents were clear, his leg's pretty good, and he's basically given the all clear to carry on like normal, which is really good because obviously a big portion of that first half of the season was Buck's recovery and the lawsuit and not being able to return to work and the complications and the different relationships between him and the team because of all that. I like that this first episode is like, that is all done, you're all clear, let's move on to something else as long as you don't get crushed by another fire truck. So I like that was kind of wrapped up in a nice little bow, set to one side, so that Buck can have new storylines moving forward. What that'll be, I don't know, because after that he wasn't really given any storylines this episode that weren't like going out and saving people's lives. From a personal point of view, obviously he had Howard's brother at his apartment, which we'll talk about, but yeah, I like that storyline was kind of wrapped up. And so that you know that, right, we've had a break, but also we're not carrying on with that storyline. We're not dragging that out. We're not making new complications. We've done what we need to do with it. He's all clear. He's good to work. Let's move on to something new, which I really appreciated because that storyline was stressful. And looking at the comments on YouTube and Patreon, very divisive. But I like that it's done with now. I guess another big thing we've got to talk about is Howard and Albert. So his brother, his half brother, showed up at the door out of nowhere, and let's talk about Albert for 1 second. He's very cute. Like I don't know what it is about him. I think it's like that cheeky smile, that he's got quite a young boyish face. He's very attractive. I really like him, and as a person, he comes across very nice, very playful. He's obviously going through something from back home, which is why he left that home in, was it Seoul? I think they said in Korea, and gone to track down his brother. Now Howard didn't like it because he very quickly fit in with the team. He very much got accepted by everyone and everyone got on with him so well. He was showing Bobby new cooking things. He was doing karaoke with Hen. going out playing pool with him, turning up at his work. And I get it, from a TV point of view, watching a lot of shows, it's a storyline that I don't tend to usually like, which is where a family member shows up out of nowhere, no one we've ever heard about, they're just, oh, something knocking at the door, oh, it's my long-lost brother, oh, it's my half-sister, oh, it's my cousin that I never talked about. They always kind of come in and cause a disruption to their lives, which he did a little bit. And usually they're in for 1 episode or 2 episodes, cause disruption, and then go. Or sometimes they stay around, and it's like I talked about it in Supernatural, was an episode called Jump the Shark. Often when shows jump the shark, it's when they introduce these family members that you've never heard about, and they change the dynamic, and it's for the worse. A lot of people, for example, talking about my good old faithful Buffy. I won't spoil it because it's a huge storyline, but when a family member was introduced later on down the line, people thought that was jumping the shark. It had its reasons, but I'm not going to say my opinion on it because I don't want to spoil anything, but that's often the thing in TV shows, which is, we're struggling for ideas, what do we do? Let's introduce a new family member to change the dynamic, and it's not good. But with Albert, right? Albert, I'm going to go with Albert. I liked him because he was a very different to Chimney in that, like, he wasn't trying to cause trouble, but he was upsetting Chimney just by being himself, and he was being a nice guy. But when you found out the history of their relationships, they've actually got a lot of shared backstory, that they've come from this home in Korea with his father, who we saw briefly, who is awful. He's very traditional Korean, I guess, stereotype in some ways, that the fathers and the parents like to control their children's lives. You do as they say, you follow in their footsteps, you grow up doing as they tell you to do, you come home when they tell you to do, you do the job that they tell you to do, they train you up to be a certain type of person, and you follow that family rules and regime until the parents are happy. But Chimney obviously went out and forged his own life because of his mum and her decisions, but he is a very successful paramedic, and has a good life, is in a good relationship, in a nice apartment, everything's great. But because his dad didn't like the decisions that he made, he said, yo, yeah, you're out there, you're risking your life for other people. He didn't say no son of mine, but he basically said how he wants well for his son, meaning Albert. I'm going to get the name down eventually. Albert basically was saying, you're not my son because of the decisions that your mother and you have made, and because you won't come home and do as I say, you're not my son. And so as far as I'm concerned, he can go, get in the bin. I don't want any time with him. I don't want you to waste any of your energy, Chimney, Albert, wasting your emotions on him, because he's not worth it. I appreciate that he's your father by blood, but as this show teaches you, and Lone Star teaches you, you have a chosen family, which is the people that you surround yourself with, that treat you with respect, that love you for who you are, help you with your life, support your decisions, and they are your family. Family doesn't have to be blood relatives by any stretch of the imagination. If you've got great family because of the people that are in your blood, amazing, that is really nice. But often quite rare nowadays as well. So don't waste your time with the dad. Cut him out, get rid. He doesn't want the best for you too. So, blech. But Chimney was really struggling with that as well, because he said the bits that they did spend growing up together, he was the son that they adored, and Chimney was like the left out one. And he took that out on Albert and attacked him verbally in that bar, which was really sad to see. He was like, you're not my brother, you're here for something, and all that. That was a really horrible scene to watch, because I get why Chimney was upset, and I can see that this person's come out of nowhere after 20 years, fits really easily into your life, everyone loves him, and you've had to fight to be part of that team. Like we saw with The Chimney Begins, he had to fight to be part of the 118, and obviously that's a different team to who they are now. But this Albert's come out of nowhere, fitting really well with everybody, with a team that he's had to build up. And not just that, but with the backstory he's got with that, which is that he and Albert were very separate, they weren't really close, and the father kept them apart, and obviously sees him as a son and not you. He's now coming in and taking that family as well. I totally understand Chimney's fear and anger and sadness, I guess, but it wasn't nice to watch him attack Albert, because Albert didn't really do anything wrong. He's trying to escape the same dad that you escaped from, and maybe he's got a better relationship with that person, but he doesn't want to be there. He's trying to come away to have a better life for himself, and he clearly respects Chimney and his decisions, but he said, you got out of that, you forged your own path, I want to do the same. And so that was great to see, because he wasn't trying to come here, at least as it stands right now, with an ulterior motive. He's a nice guy, looks up to Chimney, wants to kind of follow in his footsteps, not necessarily by being a paramedic, but by forging your own destiny and not doing as father says. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really liked the moments with Hen and Karen right towards the end. See, we found out earlier on that she's giving out these questionnaires, like questions to talk about, because social worker wants to speak to everybody to see if they're good fosters, would be a good foster. And so right at the end, they got a kid called Naya, I think they said it was called. We'll have to wait and see how that goes, because I know fostering for a lot of people is really good, but it can be really hard because quite often with fostering, you don't always keep those kids long term. It's a bit of a difficult one. So it could be that you get attached to somebody and then they go... I don't know all the ins and outs of it in America. I'm just going from a little bit that I've seen from TV shows that foster parents can often foster a lot of different kids because they eventually move on and get fully adopted by somebody else, which is great, and it's a great system, and it's actually really... You need more people that will foster, and it's like a really powerful thing. It can just be really hard for people to go through at times, and to watch from a TV point of view that they got this kid that will be moved on once you've got attached to it. So I'm excited for them to see their journey with the fostering and see how that goes. That could be really cool. Other than that, I really like the seize the day aspect of the show. The fact that, you know, they were trying to take on opportunities. Like the guy, they were going skydiving at the beginning. That obviously went really drastically wrong, and the guy was hanging out the plane. And they had to do that really cool rescue of him whilst he was hanging off the plane as it was landing. And we had the guys that were at the cafe, which was very sweet. The guy's been fancying this guy for over a year, going to the cafe at the same time as him, too scared to speak to him. He knows his order, he knows his name, and trying to get, and whatnot, but he was too scared to speak to him. But obviously when he finally had the courage to go speak to him, because it was like, he's moving away, do it now, he got injured. But then they read out that thing on the menu, which is really cringy. It was funny and it was fun, and actually the idea is sweet, that this guy who you fancied for so long and too scared to speak to was actually the one that rang 911 to help you, and this person ran out was like, basically, this is what he wants to say to you, all this stuff, and that's a sweet idea. And within all that, once the paramedic showed up, you kind of realised that this guy recognised him as well. Well, he orders this all the time, so he might have a nut allergy, so he recognised what the guy's order was. He obviously recognised his name when she called it out, and so he obviously recognised him and paid attention to him as well. Very sweet, just very cringy at the same time, but they went off together. That was very sweet, and just a lot of seize the day, which fed into Michael's storyline as well. He wants to seize the day whilst he's still alive and live his best life, but that could end badly as well because he's not doing the treatment that he's been recommended to do. So yeah, overall, really enjoyed this episode. Some really fun storylines, some really fun calls they went out on. I really enjoyed being back with our characters. I like the introduction of a new character. That's always a bit risky, especially when it's a family member. But so far, I like Albert. Very cute, very nice guy. Fits in really well with the team. It'll be interesting to see what his storyline is past trying to get with into his brother's apartment, because it was like we've dealt with the fact that he's now there. He wants to move away from home. Chimney's now accepted him. What's his path from there? We'll have to wait and see. But so far, really enjoying this part of the season, this half of the season. I'm excited to spend more time with these characters. It's so good to be back. I hope you enjoyed it too. As always, my name is Scott. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Take a look at the Patreon link down below to help support the channel and watch the full-length reaction to this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of 911 Season 3. Bye, guys. Take care. Stay safe.